Hello, my name is Mingers and welcome to Unfiltered, Conversations with Creators. This is a podcast where we talk to content creators of all sizes about the journey of how they began, how they got to where they are now, and where they want to go to in the future. The aim is to create a fun and engaging resource that we can all learn from, as well as give us something to look back on in the future. In episode 7, we are talking to IPImpact. IP is arguably Australia's #1 male Warzone streamer and creates highly entertaining content across a variety of platforms. IP is an extremely entertaining creator and a very, very funny guy. All of IP's socials will be displayed on the screen, as well as linked in the description below. If you're enjoying the podcast and this type of content, please help the algorithm, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you liked hearing about the most. We have plenty more episodes to come, and you do not want to miss out on these conversations. So without taking up too much of your time, let's get started. IPImpact, what I wanted to ask you, because I know that you're big into fitness, big into going to the gym and stuff like that. What goes in the shaker cup first, the protein powder or the water or milk?
Protein powder for sure. If you do it any other way, you're crazy, right?
Really?
No way you do milk first or water first.
Well,
I
have to have water because I'm bad with milk, but I put the water in first and then the protein powder because it stops like the bottom getting the...
That's only if your protein shaker isn't dry. If your protein shaker is dried properly, then you don't have that clunk at the bottom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that's the first question to start off with, but I thought you would have said the other way around, to be honest. I don't know, it kind of threw me off, to be honest.
That's kind of like pouring your milk before you put your cereal in. Are you kidding me? You don't do that.
No. Cereal definitely goes in first, man. Definitely goes in first.
That's how you can tell from a young age whether you want to be friendly to someone or not. They pour their milk in first, you know they're going to be a killer later. You'd be on their good side.
If you put milk in first, you're a weirdo, I swear.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're big into fitness now, but you're an ex-pro or an ex-semi-pro soccer player, is that right?
Yes, so I actually did play professionally in Europe. Started off my professional career in Poland, but that was pretty much a very, very short stint just based off, was the most injury-prone player to enter the sport.
Really?
So I made my professional debut, and the game after I had I can't remember what injury it was. I think it was my groin at the time, osteitis pubis. So really struggled to get back into the game, constant physio treatment. So for the remainder of that season, pretty much I was out. So I played one game that season and was unable to play for the rest of the season. Ended up finishing that contract in Poland, returning to Australia, and went to a physio over here who diagnosed it differently, and we healed that injury within a month, which was very frustrating to me to, obviously miss out on a whole season of potentially a great career.
Yeah.
To just find out that it was misdiagnosed and mistreated. Then jumped back on board and played overseas in Spain and in Portugal. But Spain played in the third divisions and just very, very competitive country. Like that, the skill level there was far beyond what I expected that division to be at. So as an easy comparison, one of the teams that I was on loan to for 6 months was in the same division as Real Madrid.
B team.
The B team, yeah. And if I was honest with myself, I wouldn't put myself in the squad. I was not good enough as a right back and a left back. I was not good enough to take the spot of the right back and the reserved right back, if you know what I mean. An honest opinion of myself, or I know how good of a player I am. I know my skill level, and I'm brutally honest on what my capability was. I wouldn't have put myself forward if I was the coach. So I understood why I never got gameplay. I understood why I was pretty much there as full-time trainer, but it was great to be in that environment, and there were some crazy players. I mean, a lot of my teammates were ex-La Liga players, towards the end of their career, not really caring about the money, just enjoying that they're in their homes, playing for their home city or whatever it is. So it was a very, very high level of football and very, very difficult to break into. But again, injury prone, and I just ended up pretty much back home. Went to Newcastle Jets, broke my ankle on the literally day one of training. Had someone come up and clean my ankle out.
That's so
and
unlucky.
Yeah, so after that, I just said, you know what, professional football is just not for me, and I went and took it on semi-professional, you know, through recovery and whatnot, and not taking it as seriously, just you know, going for a bit of cash and enjoying the sport a little bit more. But again, just injury after injury, and my latest one was the knee injury, and I just said after that, all right, hang up the boots early. Maybe I'll return for fun sometime, but I don't know if I'll ever get back to the competitive side of it.
Nah, but dude, even that competitive level you're talking about, I feel like if you're with people who are at a different level to you, it improves you. Even if you're just training with them, it just brings you up a notch, way more than
That is very true.
Playing all the time at a like a level below you. You could probably play every game, but you probably pick up more playing with these ex-pros and everything like that, playing at like a level above what you could reach. You know what I mean?
1,000%. Like just for example, going from Poland to Spain, and no disrespect to Poland, there are some incredible players there and they play good football. Just the style of play to how the Spanish play was ridiculous in regards to like the passing and the rate of the decision making compared to what it was in Poland.
Yep.
It was ridiculous in Spain. It was very hard to get used to. Obviously, my first touch and passing ability when I first got to Spain was way worse than when I left. And that says a lot, saying that I came from the second division in Poland at a professional level. You would think that my passing and first touch would be up to par, but just, the Spanish football is on a different level. So, being around them for sure, and then coming back to Australia and seeing what it's like over here, most people's decision-making and passing and all the abilities is completely different. Like, it's playing alongside those players as well. It definitely makes a difference. It also pushes you towards making decisions which are silly, like dribbling that extra player, which you shouldn't have, not having the option which you would normally have on a team that is well structured, or a player that understands what positioning he should be in and how to open up and make space and whatnot. But there's definitely a major difference between playing with high end level players and players with obviously a lot less experience, and it's not even their fault, to be fair.
No, that's all it is. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just different levels, just a fact.
The Australian footballing system. This is another comparison of Spain. I mean, the kids who are 7 years old train 7 times a week, and they have a coach, a fitness coach, a physio to their under 7s, whereas we have our 2 nights a week. You'll drop off your son for an hour to his little football session with kick around some balls and do some terrible little drills with the coach just for out of fun, and we expect our youth to be at the level of what they have over in Spain. I mean, it's just, in Europe in general. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
No, facts. Dude, actually, I could talk to you about soccer stuff all day, to be honest, but I'm going to try and shift this to the, you went from professional or, semi-professional, and then you decided to hang up your boots. Did you go straight into streaming, or what was the transition?
Construction. So my family business was in construction, so I went and worked with the family business. When I got my diploma in building construction, was going to take down that career path. I didn't actually get into streaming. I started off with YouTube. I was watching FaZe Dirty and FaZe Testy a lot, and throughout my whole life, I always played Call of Duty since the OG Modern Warfare days. That's when I originally got into it. So, I just kept watching them, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to start attempting to make content. And I had a little MacBook Pro, edited it on the Apple software, which is terrible, and just started making some videos. and from there, I decided, you know what, I want to keep doing this. I really enjoyed this, so that's pretty much where it happened. I think it was about something around 1.5 years to 2 years ago is when that started.
Okay, so you were making YouTube videos before you were streaming or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. I find most of the people I've spoken to already have been sort of just started gaming and then decided to stream, and then like figured out, okay, I need to make extra content and stuff to grow channels and, make TikToks and shorts and everything like that. But you sort of like came from the other way around.
I think that's backwards thinking.
Yep.
Streaming, everyone knows that streaming doesn't do you any favors in regards to discoverability. So if I was to do this from scratch and I had zero platform, I had no streaming experience, nothing. If I had to do this from scratch, I would be jumping on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, all of it, well before I started streaming. Because once you start to develop a platform that you can then drive traffic to your stream, you'll actually be able to start streaming and have it, like, start building on a community. if you start streaming and then you go, oh shit, I need to start making content in order to get people here because nobody's going to find me. I got no discoverability here on Twitch and whatnot.
Yep.
You're also allocating, you've already started stream, so you're allocating a lot of your hours and your time towards streaming that you could put potentially towards content creation and building those platforms in order to build your stream. It's just backwards thinking, starting streaming and then doing content creation after. I had, not that I had a lot of TikTok followers, but I think I was at around 20,000 followers on TikTok before I started streaming, before I even considered it. On YouTube, I never had a big following, but I was already I had been monetized at that point. I had 1,000 followers, so that was 1,000 subs on YouTube. So that was still something. But even then, again, if like I said, if I was to start it again, I would have absolutely smashed the content out on all the other platforms, tried to build up as much of a following as I can, and then started the streaming. Yeah, and you can also hype that around in regards to, like, for example, you got 50K on TikTok and a couple thousand on Instagram or whatever it is. You can also announce that to those followers and to those people that you've developed on those platforms, saying, I'm officially starting streaming. That way, when you first start, you would actually be off to a great start. And I think that's probably the smartest route to go.
That makes so much sense. And it's true. It's true. You definitely, because I can see so I've pulled up your Twitch stats, your Twitch tracker, and I can see that you started in late October 2020 streaming. Cool. But your first YouTube on your YouTube channel was May 2020.
There you go.
So it was, many months before, and even your first TikTok I think was September or something like that. So the reason why I thought that was really interesting was that, and I hate to keep bringing up your statistics in comparison to others, but it's just really, it really blew my mind looking at it, because you went and almost got like 100,000. You made almost 1,000 followers on Twitch within a couple months, like a crazy growth is what I'm saying from the start. From you, like, average viewers is good, and you've been growing like ever since. And I think the base.
That was heavily due to TikTok being a platform that was underrated / not used by majority of content creators / streamers. I think people didn't really tap into that until much later. In fact, I even got onto the TikTok train pretty late, considering when I joined, the likes of Lucci, Marc Clark and stuff, they were already at like the 100, 200, 300,000 followers. So that's when I really jumped into the market. But I've noticed a lot of people jumped into that a lot later than me. So I was able to capitalize on that TikTok market, which I think was a big part of that success.
Yep.
And I think that was honestly that was it. Like I still have people from day one. Like the other day I had people come back from day one. My first ever viewer from TikTok has popped back into my stream recently, and that was crazy to me. Yeah, my first ever viewer from TikTok. He'd been gone for like a year, since well before Verdansk had been integrated into Caldera. So he'd been gone for quite some time, and he popped back into the chat not long ago, and it's like, yo, it's crazy how far you've come. And I'm like, that's crazy to say. Like, I remember that first stream with him, my stream was completely lagging. He just happened to be there from the TikTok he saw.
Yeah.
Like, I watched, if you watched back that stream, it was unwatchable. Like, it was at the point where I was skipping all over the place. You would see 5 seconds, then you wouldn't see another 5 type of thing. And I'm like, that's incredible that guy is still there.
Dude, how long did it take you to figure out your stream? Because I know that like audio is probably the biggest one for most people to figure out first. But yeah, the lagginess, the bit rate, all that kind of stuff.
PCs in general.
PCs,
if you're not a PC user, like I came from PS4 to PC, and when I first started, I was like, what the hell is going on? And it can be really, really frustrating, because when something goes wrong and you can't work it out, it's like so confusing. But we are so fortunate that we live in a time of YouTube, and I've literally taught myself everything through YouTube. And of course, you can ask people for tips and stuff like that, but it's not like if someone asks me, yo, dude, how do I set up my stream? I'm just going to direct you to a YouTube video or direct you to a YouTube search term. Like, go search this on YouTube, you'll find the video. Like, people don't have time to take you through every single step of how to set up a stream, because it's not easy, and there are thousands of videos that explain it. So it's just like,
and plus everyone's setup is completely different anyway. So there's settings and the way you organize a OBS, for example, that won't apply to other people. So
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day, I'm still discovering things that I can add and change and improve. And I've been doing this for 2 years, and yeah, I'm sure there's many, many more things that I could learn about this platform. That's for sure.
No, 100%. So you pretty much self-taught, you said, from YouTube. You haven't had anyone you bounce ideas off, or someone to, guide you through anything like that?
I definitely will take tips from people I look up to and stuff like that. Like I'll ask bigger creators that I've become associated with in regards to ideas, in regards to what they think about algorithms and stuff like that. That's on more like a different side of things. But in regards to like the editing itself, I taught myself all my editing. I taught myself all how to set up everything. So everything like that is self-taught. Again, you can always bounce ideas off other people and stuff like that, and develop friendships with people who will give you tips. Absolutely. But yeah, I self-taught.
Yeah, man. Like you said, there's so many YouTube tutorials. There's so many people putting out like helpful videos on how to set up this, how to do that, even like little editing things, how to make this transition, how to do that. Yeah. But I find your TikToks one of the most entertaining things I watch on that platform. The way you edit them, they're quick, they're fast, they got the captions, they got little memes in there, just things you got to look out for. I find them so entertaining, man. That's how long? Excuse me.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. No, you're right.
How long did it get you to figure out that style, or was that something that you knew in your head you had at the start of putting out content, or did you develop that gradually, picking from other people?
Yeah, you always develop. Like if you look at my first YouTube videos, for example, you see the quality of the editing and how much my content has come from where it started. So absolutely, as you edit, the more content you put out, you're going to naturally improve your content. You're going to naturally pick up more ideas and more things that you can do to improve your content and to engage your audience better. But probably one of the best tips in regards to TikTok is follow like 5 to 10, or just say 5, for example, 5 really like top end creators in your genre of what you're doing. Follow them closely. Take notes more so of not just like their ideas, because ideas is all about creativity, and being creative all the time is actually really difficult. 1,000%. That's the hardest part about this industry, is being creative constantly. But in regards to taking their ideas of like the simple thing of like your webcam zooming in to emphasize on something you're trying to say.
Yep.
And then zooming back out, having pop-ups, having little memes and stuff. All that stuff you could pick up from like just a few creators that you watch on the regular. You pay close attention to their TikToks. You watch one TikTok that's been really, really successful. For example, I really like Marc. I respect him highly as a creator. And I watch Marc video and I go, what has he done in this video to make it go so viral? What are these little things, these little tricks, I guess you could say, to keep your audience engaged, to keep your audience watching, to bring your audience in the first place? Like, why is someone not going to scroll past this in the first 3 seconds? Those are the things you want to be asking when you're watching someone else's video that's been really successful, or someone that you look up to in the same genre of content creation.
I've noticed a few things. I noticed because I don't see a lot of different. I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok anymore. Try not to, because I get lost in the scrolling. But like with yours, there's that trick that you do with the looping. So it sounds like that the last few words of the end of the video lead into the first few words at the start. Like it sounds like one continuous sentence. Yeah. So it makes you keep watching it. You know what I mean?
There are certain videos where I have done that and they've worked brilliantly. And I see other people do this well. There are some people who have some really creative takes on this. It's not always the easiest thing to do. Just say, for example, I've introed a video with my recorded webcam compared to when the rest of the clip is, it could be a clip of me in my actual gameplay. To then like finish off that clip again with intro, it might be difficult to transition that from start to finish. So yeah, there's things like that where it's just like the end of your video. One thing I would recommend you do is in your editing software, whatever you use, copy and paste everything you've edited again, so you see it twice. Yep. Watch it through twice, so you can see what it looks like transitioning from the finish to the start again for when it loops through on TikTok or whatever it is. That way you'll be able to look at it and you'll be like, kind of looks like too choppy. It doesn't really transition smoothly into another one. Yeah. So you can just add a little thing like a zoom out, a zoom in, nothing. No, don't go into the crazy editing effects and be like something cool that takes too long. You want something to be like really instant that people won't even notice it. That's just just looks natural.
Nah, man, you've caught me out a few times thinking it's a whole new sentence that you're saying. It's actually the same one. What do you use to edit your videos? What software do you use?
DaVinci Resolve for video editing and GIMP for photo editing. They're both free softwares. That's what I started with, and I've stuck with them. I know that like there's a lot more capability with Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop and whatnot with photo editing, but for what I'm doing, I mean, GIMP, it's like Paint, I guess you could say, similar. Yep. It's just fun.
Nah, man,
DaVinci Resolve's really good.
They're really good. Yeah, I know. Joe's editor, he uses DaVinci Resolve too.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of movie makers use DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, there's a good color grading that you can do on that compared to other stuff.
With its capability, it's insane. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't even understand about the software itself. Like, I just know what I edit, and I improve. If there's anything that I don't understand, I'll YouTube search it. It's out there. Like, all the information's out there. Yeah,
there's no need to go out paying for software that you don't need, especially when you got free stuff out there. Especially if you're starting out, there's no need to go outlay a lot of money. You can do a lot of stuff for free. You can pretty much do everything for free.
Especially from the start. If you're starting off, this industry, you got to realize you will not be making good money for a very long time unless you are an incredibly lucky person who has some incredibly viral content and you've blown up on some platform. That's one way, yes, you might actually start making good money from it pretty soon. But it's very unlikely. You got to go into this industry expecting to not be making money. So, like, limiting your costs as best you can is the best way to go. Of course, like, streaming products like the mic and the Go XLR and the keyboard and the PC itself, all that is expensive. Like, people don't realize getting into streaming or getting into content creation isn't cheap. So like, just avoiding subscription-based like video editing software subscriptions and whatnot, avoiding that is just a massive plus. Like, do that at all costs, I would say, especially starting off.
100%. And so in terms of your streaming, how does that fit? Is that your main? Would you say that's your main focus when you're going when at your current stage with content creation? Is that your main focus, and everything else comes from that, or do you stream to make the YouTube and TikTok videos?
It's good to have an idea about what content you want to make. TikTok, I think, is very, very difficult to be like, I know what I want to do today in today's stream in order to get a TikTok. I think if you're doing, for example, loadout videos and stuff like that, fair enough. You go into your stream with a plan. But on the creative side, you will generally spark a creative idea from what has happened in stream, because you won't be able to predict some crazy things that happens in game and whatnot. So the TikTok side of it, absolutely, majority of the time is just unplanned. It's whatever happens in stream, so it comes from the stream. But in regards to YouTube content, which is a very, very difficult platform that I have definitely not mastered. That I go into it with a bit of a plan. I'm still trying to work that part out. I'm still trying to think of whether I should be doing a series and trying to, focus every stream around a certain bit of content that's going to be going up on YouTube or whatever it might be. And I have gone into a lot of streams like that. I'd be like, okay, I need a high kill gameplay with this gun and that gun because that's the video I want to make on it.
Yep.
But yeah, again, I'm still learning YouTube. It's a very difficult platform to master, and but TikTok's just, it's random, it's creative.
Yeah, YouTube is that difficult one, and that's sort of like the gold mine, I guess, if you want to put it that way, of cracking the algorithm, getting into that thing, and then trying to grow through that is probably the hardest and the most rewarding.
Definitely the hardest. I don't know. I've done a lot of study in it in regards to like how people do break into the algorithm. It's just, it's not easy. It's really not easy. Like, YouTube thumbnails and titles are massive, of course. Viewer engagement is massive, but to be actually pushed out into the algorithms isn't the easiest thing to do. Like, you can mimic a lot of other creators that are doing it successfully, and doesn't necessarily mean you're going to break into it. Like, there's so many people doing loadout videos, for example. Again, I'll pick out loadout videos because it's the most common. On YouTube, loadout videos is so flooded.
Yep.
It's so overdone that your YouTube video, just starting off with like a low subscriber base, little viewership, is not going to fall into the algorithm just based on the fact that no one's going to look at yours over Joe Woe's, for example. Why am I going to go to IPImpact instead when I can go to Nick Merckx or whoever they would be watching, for example? You know what I mean? So you got to think of it as an early YouTuber, as someone who hasn't already broken into the algorithm, what can you do to break into the algorithm? What can you do to gain popularity? So I feel like YouTube is generally more so going to come from you growing on your other platforms and being able to convert those. I might be wrong about that, but I feel like a lot of my views do come from the people who support me in stream and who might have missed that game. And through commands in stream, adding a command to a stream, for example, your personal record, you got your YouTube video up with your personal record. Anytime someone asks, what's your PR? Exclamation mark PR, that YouTube video comes up. Yep. So there's that way of driving people to your YouTube that way. And if it happens to get picked up by the algorithm, which you do hope, then absolutely fantastic. And hopefully you blow up on it. That's the plan.
Oh, man, for sure. Have you ever had a big raid on Twitch? What's your biggest?
Yeah, I've had, the biggest I've had is Pomage. Oh, actually, I forgot. I got Bobby Puff. Yeah, that was definitely the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah?
Bobby Puff, he hosted with like 800 or 900 people.
Nice.
Pomage, Dirty. Obviously, I'm close with Dirty, and I've played with Pomage on several occasions. I played with Bobby on several occasions, so that they came through just through that direct contact with them.
Yep.
As for random raids from a big creator, no. I actually had Temper right at the start. FaZe Temper right at the start, but that was when I first started streaming, and I was, I guess, not prepared for that type of raid, I guess you could say.
How did you handle it?
At first, I didn't know it was FaZe Temper. So,
really? Okay.
When it didn't register to me, like, I didn't think about it at the time. Just, Temper, thank you for the raid, man. What's going on? You know, just some general reaction. Until I realized everyone's spamming the FaZe symbol, and I'm like, wait a second, is this FaZe Temper?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I didn't realize. I mean, I think that's when he just started streaming again, because he had taken a long break from, you know, the streaming industry as a whole. So I didn't even realize he was streaming at all. So he didn't come in with massive viewership, and that's why I didn't put the two together. But yeah, those are probably the biggest names I've been rated. I apologize if someone else has rated me.
It's fine.
Just off the top of my head.
Did you find it nerve-wracking? Did you get nervous at all, or do you feel like you can handle those kind of moments pretty well, since you've kind of had a few of them?
The thing is, you got to recognize, whilst raids are incredible to, you know, try to support your fellow streamers and other people in the community, whilst raids are great and you may potentially gain a couple viewers or loyal followers or whatever it might be from it, potentially that can happen. It's very rare. Raids are a good gesture, but for your stream, they're not going to do a great deal. Unless you have a shared community, like the community's already familiar with that person, and, you know, your viewers are already familiar with that person, of course, like, that's good with shared communities. But in regards to like raids of someone completely random, it's very rare that, for example, I'm joining in Minja's raid. You know, we've raided someone in the UK. I might stick around and spam Minja's raid in the chat, and then be like, all right, I'll bounce. Yeah. And that's the majority of the time what's going to happen. So like, you when you get raided even by a big streamer, you shouldn't be getting nervous. Don't have the expectation of, oh shit, like this streamer's watching me now, I got to perform. Like, for example, your favorite streamer, Tim the Tan Man's an exaggeration, especially on YouTube. But regardless, for example, if you got raided by Huskers, that could be a classic example. He'd probably raid with 5,000 to 10,000 viewers. Yeah, those 5,000 to 10,000 viewers are coming from watching one of the best players in the world. Yeah, so you shouldn't have the expectation of, oh shit, I have to put in a good performance right here. You have to do something else. Yeah, be yourself. Be entertaining. Try catch that audience in a different way, not by trying to be the best player. Unless you are the best player, I mean, go ahead, do it. But don't feel nervous on somebody coming in with a big raid. At the end of the day, it's a sign of good gesture. It's good gesture, but it's not going to be the make or break for your stream. There are some cases. Tim the Tan Man could change your life. Nick Merckx could change your life. I'm sure some of those massive creators could do something incredible. I don't know if you've seen recently, some guy broke the world record in Rebirth. Tim the Tan Man on YouTube sent all of his viewers over to his Twitch stream to use up all their Prime subs. And that kid has had some incredible success recently. I don't know if it's still going. I don't know if it was short-lived. But regardless, that's massive for him. So, of course, there are things like that can happen. People can get very lucky. Mr. Beast could come in with an offer, and what's his...
XQC?
No, one of the FaZe members, is it faculty or something? I can't remember who it was. One of the FaZe members got Mr. Beast came into his Fortnite game and said, if you win the game, we'll $20,000.
Oh,
Part
the
of the YouTube
20K.
video.
Yeah.
He ended up winning. He's now, he's a big creator. He's grown up to have a great platform. I don't actually know what he was before, but that's a classic example of what someone could potentially do for you, or what could potentially happen. But you should never really be like holding on to that thought, like, one day Nick Merckx is going to raid me, and my life is going to change. Like, it's very, very rare. Like, it's a lottery ticket, essentially. Like,
No, I think that's 100% correct. If you're banking on getting a big raid to make it streaming, it's probably the wrong way to go about it. Yeah, it's very unreliable, and it's never guaranteed, and you should never expect anyone to do it. Like, my friend's live is going to raid me. Nah, don't even think even your friend's going to raid you just because he's on. Like, yeah, I've said it with a previous guest on the show. It's like, nobody owes you anything, so don't get upset if nobody gives you anything. Same with subbing to you, following you, whatever. Nobody owes you that, and you can't expect people to do that just because you're on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the reason I brought that up was because that's how we know each other. You brought your community over to my stream one day, and it was probably one of the best raids because everybody was really active in chat. They felt really welcoming. They were really engaging, spamming emotes, dropped a few follows and everything like that. And it was really good. Sometimes some people come over and it's sort of like there's a lot of lurkers and maybe not active chatters, so it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of people in there. But when you brought your community over, it was really eye-opening because I didn't know a lot of Australian content creators or streamers until you dropped by, and sort of opened up my eyes to the Australian side of things.
Yep.
So I've even asked around. A few people are saying IPImpact is probably the best Australian Twitch streamer for Warzone.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And whoever has said that, I appreciate that as well. That's a title I would be very, very proud of. But yeah, I do actually remember raiding you. And in regards to raids, of course, I've done a raid after every single stream pretty much. There's very few streams that I don't raid. Not always are they as engaging and successful as what you may have felt. Of course, the lurkers and people who don't join, people who back out and whatnot. Like there's a lot of those people again, but I try my best when I do have the time to spend at least the game that I raid in to watch, or a couple games to watch, and develop a little bit of a relationship with that person I'm raiding, just so. Networking is huge. That's the best thing out of a raid. Actually, from what I said earlier about a good gesture of a raid, absolutely it is. But the biggest thing you could take out of a raid is networking. So that's a great example of what you just said now. Like, we now know each other, and we are here on this podcast doing this.
Yeah.
Based off the fact that we networked with each other through a raid. That is a great way to do it. So yeah, that's the best. For a raid, that's what you should be looking to do, network and find someone with a similar viewership base, or similar, not necessarily, you don't want to really go raid someone with 5-10 times your viewership, because they might disregard you. I don't know. Everyone's character is different, but generally they're just gonna be like, "Oh, thank you for the raid," and then continue on with their stream, and they might not ever remember you. But if you go find someone similar to your level, around or a little bit bigger or whatever it is, that's a good way to network. So yeah, that's one thing to definitely take out of raids.
No, I couldn't have said it better. That's perfect. That is perfect. Has it ever gone wrong? Like, have you ever gone somewhere that wasn't well received, or wasn't the guy
Absolutely. We've raided where the person just like was very, very blunt, and I was just like, all right, whatever.
Okay,
I mean, it was just like, okay, cool. I mean, I just like to be honest, I never even thought about it. It was just like, oh, whatever, I didn't mind. Let's go. Pretty much like close the stream and go do my editing and do whatever else I do. Of course, we've had a lot of raids where the streamer at the time has had the problem of their end, audio not being able to work, or whatever it is, like something happening. So of course, there's been that end too. Like the other night, we raided a young kid, Tyler, and his audio wasn't actually working. So for the whole time he was streaming, he had no game sound.
He wouldn't have known.
Yeah, he didn't know until we came in, and I was like to him, "You got no sound." So his dad came in, and his dad sorted it out for him, and we ended up chatting to him for a bit. And
that's nice.
Again, that's just the way it happens sometimes. But
are you a viewer at all? Do you watch other people? Like, not even have to be active in chat or anything, but do you lurk anywhere?
pretty much always leave one person on lurk whenever I'm editing. And majority of the time I'm not watching or listening, but sometimes I do get distracted. I'll listen to the stream. I'll get engaged in the chat. Usually when I am viewing in someone's chat and I'm actually watching and listening, I'll try to engage in the chat. Like, because I know from a streamer point of view, it's a great feeling when you have your chat interactive with you and sparking questions and creating something interesting for other people to read in the chat as well. So I know how it is from a streamer perspective. So I try to do that as best I can in other people's streams. But again, it's really difficult to, like, for example, if I'm watching someone stream, it means I'm not editing my own content. I'm not getting something done that I need to do. So I'll just leave it there. Like, generally, whoever I raid, I'll just leave it on lurk. I'll go do my editing for the rest of the night, and I'll join in on their raid if they happen to raid, or if I happen to go to sleep before they raid, I'll just close it. And
Nah, that makes sense. Nah, the reason I asked that was that I have this theory that I think I've brought it up with everyone that I've had on so far, but I feel like that the type of streams or the content that you watch, that you prefer to watch, is the type of streamer or content that you're going to put out. And I feel like that's one of your main strengths, is the way you engage with your chat, your community. And when you're on stream, you're very engaging with everybody. I feel like might be the type of person that you like to watch.
Yes and no. I mean, I can agree with you 100% on watching streamers that you want to be like and who you're inspired by. Absolutely, I agree with you on that aspect. But I think it's also mood based. Like, it was like a month or two ago. I was playing Bloodhunt. I was off Call of Duty. I was off the game. I just happened to be watching this other stream, Viking, for example. He's really interactive with his chat and stuff, but a completely different personality to what I am. Then also I was watching, I just happened to hop into someone else's stream who was like not interactive at all. Just happened to watch his gameplay. I mean, I feel like it's mood based. If I feel like I want to be hyped up by someone, I'll go into one of those more interactive streamers who hype stuff up and stuff like that. But if sometimes you might want to just kick back, watch some gameplay or whatever it is, and you find someone like that. So I don't know. In regards to the type of streamer you want to be, yes, you should be watching those streamers. You should be watching what they do, taking notes and whatnot.
Yep.
Ideas and that. But yeah, in regards to just mood-based viewership, watching someone of how you feel, I think, you could be watching someone completely different to what you put out.
That's fair. No, that's fair. No, sometimes, that makes a lot of sense. I think it is mood-based. I do enjoy someone who's like Warzone, for example, really cracked, will be dropping 20s most games and stuff like that. But there's most days, if I go in there and like I say hello to the chat and no one says anything back, or I know I get the streamer's probably busy, but not even the chat says hello, I'm probably going to dip if I'm in that mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that exact outcome a couple times that it's happened with me, where I've popped into chat, and I feel like this was more so before, when I was, without saying arrogant, but less established name. I popped into a couple people's chat back in the day, like in Verdansk days, and got no recognition. I was like, all right, whatever. So I just left. So yeah, I can agree with you on that aspect, but I haven't had that experience anytime recently where nobody's taken note of a comment in the chat.
No, that's
unless
fair.
the chat's too busy for them to read. That's a whole different.
Yeah, you can understand that, surely.
Yeah, it's so easy to miss comments when it's busy. And especially if you're playing the game. Yeah. Like five, it only takes like 4 or 5 people, sometimes less, like 3 people for you to miss a few comments, and I guess a friendly reminder to people when you get off the game in between games to remind people, sorry if I miss your comment. If you have something to ask me, ask it now. That kind of friendly reminder. Dude, it's not a bad idea to incorporate.
It's insane how hard it is to try and game and look over at another screen at the same time and try and read and take in information and reply back while playing a game. It's crazy.
You'll die a lot from it too.
You die a lot. Yeah. I can blame a lot of my deaths just because of chat.
Yeah. It's their fault, all right?
It's their fault, yeah. No, it wasn't my bad play. It was their fault.
Exactly.
So you said, so you've pretty much been involved with the FaZe crew a lot. I've seen recently you were in the FaZe, was it top 10 that you made it to in their competition?
Nah, they had a FaZe 1.
FaZe 1 thing, yeah.
We actually didn't make the top 100. So they had a FaZe 1 competition where Honestly, this might sound biased, but I believe that I 100% deserve that spot in the top 100, and I was really, really shocked, along with a lot of other people who were really, really shocked that we didn't make it. But I then looked more into it, in regards to what FaZe was actually doing and what they were chasing, and it wasn't FaZe at heart. I mean, it wasn't down to its core. It wasn't what they were chasing. They were looking at it on a whole different marketing perspective of the broader catching the broader audience, people who are of all sorts, not just the OG sniping Call of Duty type player.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they had a couple good snipers in there that did make it, a few good snipers in there that did make it, and people that I legitimately thought would be the top competitors, but a lot of them were disregarded, pushed to the side, and didn't end up making it all the way. So, yeah, I don't know. I think FaZe took a different direction in regards to like just expanding, and they put a heavy again, I don't want to sound rude or biased towards some of people's entries, but that was honestly shocking. Like some of them were terrible, like filmed, edited, everything was really, really poor about it, and I was shocked to see some of those entries get in. Not to say that mine was perfect and mine was great or whatever, but I just saw some people who did make it, and I was like, okay, well, their interests are definitely not aligned with what I thought FaZe was about. Yeah,
it's funny. When you say FaZe to me as well, that's what I think of. I think of the old school quick scopes, sniping, crazy 360s. It's funny. When I was watching that unfold, I think you were very active in, retweeting and showing off clips, and even watching your footage that you put forward. I was like, dude, this is what I thought it would be. And then I saw what the top people who were in at the end were like. I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah,
a little bit different, but
it was funny to see some of the entries. Like, I was enjoying some of it as well, because I was like, this is funny. But definitely they're expanding. They already have their pomages, they have their jevs, their testes, their dirties. They already have them, and I figured they're not interested in that anymore. They got those people. They don't need more of them. So I think. I honestly think if I went a completely different route and showed majority of what I am outside of the game rather than focusing on the game, I think I would have had a lot better of an opportunity to get in it. But even so, as great of an organization as they are, and I would never turn them down in regards to a worthy contract, I don't think that their interests are aligned with what we're doing at the moment in regards to like Call of Duty and sniping and whatnot. It's no longer, FaZe is not recognized as the best sniping clan anymore, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like they're
the reputation's not there anymore.
No, they still have those players. They still have those OGs,
and they have. When I think of FaZe, it's like everyone was nasty but a sniper. Everyone was like quick scoping, but it's sort of like you said, they're expanded, but it's not fully like that. But how did you feel like it went when you were trying to put together all that footage and stuff, and you were kind of pushing that, you were going for a FaZe contract or whatever? Did you feel like you were getting a lot more interest coming from the community and people coming into your streams? Yeah.
Even like statistical base, like the statistics show the viewership grew and the support, and a lot of new people came through to support and whatnot, and people were like jumping on board. I think it was more so because a lot of people did truly believe we were going to make the top 100. So like a lot of people did come on board to show the extra support, and they wanted to be a part of it. Everyone wanted to be a part of it. So it definitely, out of that phase one the whole phase one thing, we definitely took a lot out of it in regards to like growth, viewership and all that stuff. 100%.
Yeah. 'Cause I was looking at it, and you were hitting, because that was earlier this year, wasn't it? It was the start of the year. You were hitting almost partner numbers on Twitch with viewership.
That was, it was right after that where I had a subathon, which was my highest viewership month, which was the closest I ever got to partner.
But is that something you actively go for, or is it just if it happens, it happens?
I'm definitely actively going for it.
You're going? Okay.
I definitely want to go for partner. Mind you, I'm not gonna sell my soul. But for example, like this is actually perfect timing. The past 2 nights I played Fall Guys for the first time.
Yeah.
My viewership skyrocketed. I'm like, this has not happened in regards to playing a new game that you're completely unfamiliar with. To have your viewership boost like that, it doesn't happen really. It's very rare that it'll happen. So I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that and trying to boost my numbers. But even so, like last night, we ended up like organically reaching 120 viewers at one point, which was insane to me. Yeah. I can't remember if I've ever reached that organically. I have, but for the extended period of time of the stream, to reach that high in the viewership, it was pretty crazy to me, especially on Fall Guys, which I'd never played. So yeah, with that being said, I'm definitely going to be incorporating a lot more Fall Guys into the streams. I mean, if it gets me closer and helps the growth and 100%. The end goal of not the end goal, the next goal of partner, if it helps me get there, then absolutely, yeah, I'm going to be pushing it.
100%, man. And plus, you've been pretty much COD heavy your whole content streaming sort of thing. Do you think you felt pigeonholed or stuck in that you have to be a COD streamer, you have to stream Warzone, you have to stream Rebirth, you have to stream whatever, rather than expanding, like you said? Yes
and no. Like I've done IRL streams where the viewership and the engagement and stuff has been really, really great. Like walking down the Yarra and doing pranks and stuff like that, just random crazy stuff. So like that route, I could definitely completely change my whole route. And I know my loyal viewership, my loyal community would absolutely like stick through everything. But in regards to what generates most interest and brings in new people and generates an active chat, like recently I wasn't really happy with the way the state of Rebirth. This was pre Fortune's Keep, and I strayed away from Call of Duty for quite a bit.
Yep.
Played Blood Hunt, a game that not many people are familiar with, a game that not many people have interest with, and my viewership dropped, my chat engagement dropped, and I knew it wasn't the route to take in regards to what we were trying to achieve here.
Yep.
So I just literally told myself, I said, pull your head out, start focusing back on Call of Duty, and just grind it out until the game picks up. And luckily, the Fortune's Keep did spark a lot more interest in the game again, but it's coming to that point where the map's gone not stale quickly. It's the state of the game. A lot of people are unhappy with, and a lot of people are hating on the game, and so it's still difficult to stream Call of Duty and maintain interest, especially with the game being the same pretty much for the past 3 years. It's like now 3 years, 2-3 years that it's been since the release of Warzone. So yeah, with that being said, it's definitely difficult to keep people interested in the game, but in regards to the play that I am, I'm definitely not going to go play Battlefield or something. I don't even know what else. What's another option? Like
Halo.
Valorant.
Yeah,
Valorant. Yeah, like I couldn't play Valorant. No way.
No, that's fair. Yeah, when I don't know, when you're going for the partner thing and you've got your viewer base, that's sort of like people will come and watch you. A lot of people will come and watch you do whatever you do for your personality, but then at the same time, you've also got people who just want to watch Warzone. Like you said, they don't want to click on and see something different. They'll go watch someone else, kind of thing. So it's a balancing act. But
100%. When I'm watching FaZe Dirty and he's playing Valorant, I lose interest and I generally don't watch. It's just I don't have interest in watching him on Valorant. I generally do chat with him and we'll catch up on conversation and whatnot. But when that conversation dries up and there's nothing else to talk about, or you don't have anything you want to talk about, you just want to kick back and watch some gameplay. It's not. I'm not going to watch Valorant. I just don't have any interest in that game. So 100% agree on that. That is for sure. And it also goes to show with people who purely like to watch, they never chat. People who may have never chatted. I had last week someone came into the chat for the first time. He'd been watching for over a year, and I was like, wow, like there's a lot of. I remember having the conversation with a truckie. He said that a lot of him and his truckie mates, they watch me majority of the time during their breaks when they park their truck on the side of the road or they take a break and they're at their campsite, I guess, so to speak, on like, you know, where they park their trucks and they chill and whatnot. They spend hours there. They said they're all watching me on stream, but none of them ever chat. So that's just a classic example of, you know, there's a truck community of truck drivers in Australia who watch me that I'll never know of and I'll never end up talking to them. So there's a lot of people like that for sure. They just purely like to watch.
Hey, shout out to truckies though. But
absolutely.
I feel like that's the thing. I think I might have even, when I first started Twitch, watching Twitch, I might have just like disregarded the chat, as in I minimized it, like I turned it off. Didn't even care about it. Didn't want to see anything. Like I can totally understand people do that too. And a lot of people come in and say, I've got you in the background, I'm working, I'm getting ready for work or whatever, and they're sort of using it as like a background noise, like as someone else in the room, but while being alone. And it's, not everyone's active in chat. I think it's important to say that you don't have to be active in chat. Don't feel pressured, anything like that.
Absolutely, yeah. People just like to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, everyone's situation is different, but absolutely, there are so many people I know that for sure that just don't even make accounts. They just follow. They just watch. Like, there's a lot of people who don't even make a Twitch account. They just watch, and it's just like they just watch when they'll flick it on. They'll see you live. They'll know your name from somewhere else, from TikTok or whatever it is, and they'll flick it. They'll see you live in the browse channel, or search up your name and see if you're live. And you happen to be live, they end up watching. That's just pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, that's
could be also something that's important around like having a schedule as well. Like,
yep.
Mind you, whilst I'm not always on time, I have the same schedule, so I'm like on the same time every week. So for someone that knows that I'm going to be on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. when he usually flicks on Twitch and he sees me live, that's good.
Yep.
He sees me live, no problem. He expects me to be there. He knows that I'm not going to be there on Saturday, for example, so he doesn't bother.
Yeah,
that's generally going to help you as well.
I like how you've pretty much planned your weeks ahead. So you'll put out your schedule for the week, make sure people know roughly. And, it's not going to be exact. I'll be on 7 o'clock on the dot, but that that night you're going to be on, there's going to be something happening. So I like that you do that too.
I tried doing it a month in advance last month. It just was too many chopping changes. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. So the week by week seems to work well. I've been doing that. And again, it's just like, it's also easy to refer people to the right times. So it's just like, oh, what, are you going to be on Friday? And just exclamation mark schedule. There's the schedule for the week,
Dude, it must be so hard trying to plan a month ahead with a newborn son and all the stuff that comes with that. Because, dude, I remember when my kids were born, I did not sleep for about 6 to 8 months with my first one. So, you've obviously got a lot of things under control, or you got a good system at home. Wifey is very understanding, very helpful as well.
She's on top of it, honestly. She's really good with it. In regards to my sleep, like, I'll probably edit till 3, 4 a.m. most nights, sometimes later. Depends what I want to get done and how much I'm getting done. Like, I could be up really late some nights, and she will pretty much not wake me up until 11 or midday, something like that.
Goated.
Yeah, she's good like that. So I'll be able to catch on sleep, but there are some times where, like, he might be crying or whatnot, and you can't not wake up no matter how much of a deep sleeper you are. There are those scenarios, of course, but we have a pretty decent routine right now. No,
that's good. Especially if this is your thing, this is your job, this is your income. You obviously communicate well, and you got an understanding that this has to be done this time, and you make time for each other. You obviously give her a chop out every now and again, and she makes sure everything's all right when you have to go live, kind of thing. So yeah,
of course. Whenever I can help, 100%, I'm there and I'm doing what I can. And of course, you want to spend time with your son and whatnot. You want to be part of it. So absolutely, whenever I do make the time for them, 100%, I give them 100%. But sometimes I just tell her I just need to focus for the next 2 hours. I don't want to hear noise, and let me just get these edits done. Like, and she just does what she needs to do. She respects it, and that's it. It's just she understands it, because since like day one, I think this question was raised not long ago to me, was how do you get your wife or your girlfriend or whatever to jump on board with what you're doing? This is a difficult conversation to have to some people, right? Because for example, you show your girlfriend, I'm not making any money, I'm not getting any viewership right now. How are you meant to convince her that this is something you want to do and pursue, and for her to allow you to give up a lot of time and dedication towards it, which could be put towards her or towards work or towards something else? Like, it's hard to justify, but I think with a lot of conviction and you really put your passion behind it, and of course, if your wife or girlfriend highly respects you and what you're doing and what you're driven to do, she'll support you all the way. So that's you just have to be really passionate and really, really motivated and dedicated to what you're doing. You can't just be like, oh, I want to try it out, I want to see how it goes.
Yeah.
If you bring it across like that to anybody, if you're telling your mum, for example, your mum's telling you to go do university, and you say, I want to give it a go 1 year, I'll try out content creation. If you go to her being like, oh, mum, I just want to try it out. This person's doing it. He's doing so well. Like you name Nick Merckx. Like I want to be a Nick Merckx. She's going to be like, stop being ridiculous. Yeah. But if you come to her and you'd be like, mum, in 1 month, I've gained 5,000 followers on TikTok. I've got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. My viewership has boosted this much. This is what I've been able to do in 1 month. Let me try it out for 12 months full time. I promise you, I'll make it worth it, and I'll show you the growth that I'll be able to have in this industry and what I'll be able to do in this industry, the impact I'll be able to make. Yep. So if you come with that kind of take on how to explain why you're doing it and what you plan to do with it, then absolutely, I think you can convince anyone.
And I think you need to also sacrifice something at the same time. You can't just say, I'm going to go to work all day, then I'm going to come home and stream all night, and then on the weekends I'm going to go out partying with the boys, and then there's no time for you. Basically, I'm going to take my time spent with you and I'm going to dedicate it to streaming. It's not going to fly.
Yeah, you do sacrifice a bit of social life, that's for sure. If you're a really social person and you hang out with your mates every night and you go out on the weekends constantly, I'm not saying not to do that. It's obviously you got to have your social life. You got to.
Yep.
Those things are very important. Yeah, getting out is very important, but one thing I noticed a lot of streamers like tweet and talk about and whatnot is how they let themselves go in regards to the gym because they sacrifice it. Not saying that's a good sacrifice. I'm not telling you not to, I'm not telling you to sacrifice that, but because they put so much time and effort into what they're doing, into their passion of streaming and content creation, they end up letting that go along with their social life. Yeah. So there are sacrifices you're going to have to make. Hopefully you don't sacrifice your body, your health, your physical health and your mental health are huge in this industry because if that takes a hit, your content creation is going to take a hit, and none of it's going to be worth it. Yeah.
Yep. So, what's the point at the end of the day if you're not happy? But you keep your schedule. You're pretty, I wouldn't say regimented, but you've got the things that you want to accomplish throughout the day, and you pretty much stick to it. Do you ever find yourself? Do you cut a stream when you're supposed to get off, or will you like let it go and editing gets pushed back an hour or two, and then everything else gets pushed back, or
I used to do that where I thought, oh, this stream's going well. I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna continue.
Yep.
Whilst it's good to take advantage of successful streams, it is good. So I would push it a little bit and take advantage of it. Absolutely. I don't think if you have something to do, you have something to edit, or you have to wake up early tomorrow and you have to get some sleep. It's not the best idea because it's like a snowball effect. I have a whiteboard next to me. It's not on webcam right now. It's not on the camera, but I have like 20 dot points of TikToks that I need to create. 20. Okay. That's 20 ideas that are slapped up on a whiteboard next to me that I need to get on top of. That's bad. I generally should have like 5 to 10s. Like lately I've been slacking. My creative my creativity hasn't been there in regards to like I've sat still on a lot of ideas on how do I execute this, how do I edit this, what should I intro this as. So I've wasted a lot of time. I'll be hard on myself, and I've wasted a lot of my time over this past week. For example, I could have smashed out 20 TikToks that could have been half decent or better, but instead I've smashed out only a couple TikToks. And also you read into statistics and you go, shit, like the algorithm's not good at the moment. You pick up a lot of things like the more you edit and the more you're on that platform, you start to understand that stuff better. And I noticed there's a lot of other big creators that are having issues with the TikTok algorithm at the moment, for example. So I've put that on a bit of a back burner, put less focus towards that, been handling other personal stuff and putting that time, which I would normally put into editing TikToks. I know it's not the best time right now. I'll leave them. I'll focus it on something else. But yeah, it's a snowball effect. If you end up streaming more and more and more and not getting on top of your edits, you're going to end up losing out on a lot of potential content, which could have been the better growth than from what that one successful stream could have had. Like if you think about what you actually get out of one stream being successful, for example, you feel like you're having 5 to 10 active chatters that like more than what you regularly would. Whilst it's good to be engaging with them, those 5 to 10 chatters that you've just been engaging with for the past 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, they're going to be there for the next one. So you've now created something good out of that stream. There's not much more that you're going to gain by extending those hours compared to as you put out a TikTok that could go viral. Is obviously not the easiest thing to say, but like could go well. You could gain another 3 or 4 loyal viewers.
That TikTok might get 1, 2, 300 views, 1,000 views, and that might be another extra follower or two.
You just don't know. Like the algorithm is so weird.
Yep.
It's crazy. Sometimes, like, I'll put out a bunch of TikToks and I'll be like, this one I'm not too happy with. I'll put it out and it ends up going viral, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
like,
TikTok. Don't get me started on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's so weird.
I spent half an hour editing this one, and the one that spent 5 hours editing ends up flopping, and you're like, what the hell, man? It'd be disheartening as well. Do you look at your analytics too much and worry about that too much, or are you resigned to the fact that you know that sometimes things are just not going to blow up? Yeah, I just know. So, like, the other night, I put out a TikTok on something that I know my content, and I know when I've executed something well and when something is funny or should have good engagement, right? Yeah. I understand my content really well, and I know what works. So when I make a video and I'm like, this one's going to be good, and it doesn't do well, like the first hour I say, wait, less than, I'm not going to put numbers on it because everyone's numbers are different, but less than a certain amount of views than normal, and I'm like, in the first hour it's only got that, no shot. It doesn't make sense. So people can say, it's just get better at editing your content, make your content better. I understand. Yes, absolutely. There is that is a big part of it. But when you understand your own content and you've had the success, you understand what does well. And I've got hundreds of videos up. Like, I know my content. I know what should be performing at what level. To have certain videos just completely flop on that regard, you go, something's wrong with the algorithm at the moment. Maybe my account, especially with the lives, because my lives get flagged all the time for dangerous content. Because for some reason, Australian TikTok flags Call of Duty as dangerous content. We don't get pushed out. Yeah, we don't get pushed out to the FYP.
Yeah, it's weird. Crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
So we own, and like, the only way you will see my live, unless you've been really active on my channel, it may pop up on your For You page. But the only way you will generally see my live or any other TikTok Australia Call of Duty creators live, if it's streaming the game, of course, like myself. You'll see it only when you open up your notifications and you see like the people at the top. Like that's the only way you'll be able to get that live. So it's a lot. It's a lot to take on board in regards to like, fuck, did I edit a bad video, or
is it out of your hands? Yeah.
Do
you get in your head about it, or do you feel pretty confident with like how you deal with how?
I'd be lying if I said it didn't get in my head. Yeah.
Okay.
I get frustrated, just knowing like something that you might have put hours. This goes for everyone. Everyone will be able to relate to this on some level. You put hours into a particular edit or whatever it might be, and it flops.
Projects, whatever.
Yeah, you know that like it should have performed better. You should have got better results out of this one.
Yeah,
it gets frustrating, and especially what things. This industry is so up and down. You know, your viewership could be booming tomorrow. It could be at an all-time low the next day. So it's very easy to be disheartened, but you just got to you got to be in the mentality of this is a long-term thing, 5 years in advance. If I'm doing this for the next 5 years as consistently as I am now, imagine what it's going to be at, type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to be in the mentality of. This one didn't work. The next one might not work. The next one might not work. The one after that might. So.
No, that's fair. And
what about with YouTube? Like, in this exact scenario, go to my YouTube, look at my YouTube videos. I have a bunch of YouTube videos on like 30, 40, 50 to 100 views. Yeah, like not much at all, like terrible viewership on long form YouTube content. Am I stopping? I'm still doing one every single week. Why? Because you never know. In 50 videos, 100 videos, 1,000 videos time, I might have finally found the algorithm. I might have finally found what works. And all of a sudden, I'm 1 million subscribers and 1 million views and whatever it is. It's a hypothetical, but that's just a classic example of the current scenario that I'm in.
Yep.
Don't stop.
Yeah, it can be disheartening I find people feel the same way about when they try and get into fitness or try and get in the gym for the first time and they don't see instant results. It can be disheartening, but it's the same thing. It's a long-term game.
Good analogy.
Yeah. Long-term game, stick at it. You're not going to see results straight away. You might be very lucky, and in a couple of weeks you'll be leaner and bigger or whatever, but probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably most likely. But yeah, what about with negative comments and trolls and stuff like that? Do you ever take on board comments or stuff like that, or are you pretty easy with ignoring that kind of stuff?
Negative comments, you got to on social media. Negative comments are the best thing for you.
Yep. Interactions,
exactly. People that hate you are the reason why you're going viral. Just remember that. Yeah, they're a massive thing to like, a massive part of the journey. Yeah, and it's really, really good sign if you have a lot of people hating on your content. Not good in regards to like, you don't want people hating
Not
you. Not
majority of people. Yeah.
If every single comment is like everyone hating on you, that's not good. I don't mean it like that.
No.
Obviously, you want to gain supporters. You want to have a support base. You want to have a lot of positive comments too. But a big part of that algorithm is having a lot of haters because they're going to watch your video through 5 times and be like, what can I pick on? You know,
Dude,
what can I pick out of this
100%.
video to try shit on this guy? I don't like this guy. What can I... They'll watch it a few times and then they'll do their comment. You're such a shit player. You're dog shit. You missed your aim. It took you 3 throwing knives. Oh, good. Tell me that. I want you to.
Yeah, facts.
That type of stuff, absolutely. But in regards to like streaming, this is live. So they're getting your live reaction. So this is very hit and miss in regards to, I could be pissed off in a game right now. Yeah, I'm losing it at Call of Duty and I got someone come in and troll me, right? And troll me in a bad way where it just triggers me enough.
It's just bad timing. Bad timing. Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen. Generally, I try to handle it of troll the troll. I'd rather give him shit back because it's more so my mentality. Everyone's different again, but my mentality is also like bully the bully. Like, fuck that guy. I'm going to shit on him. He's not going to shit on me type of mentality. You know, like I'd rather do it that way rather than, I know a lot of people do the block route. Unless it's like a racist or something that can get me banned with TOS.
Yep.
I won't ban him. I would love to talk shit with them before I do any of that. I'll time him out first and then I'll give him another chance to talk shit just so I can talk more shit back. Usually, like I generally like to go back at it and it's good entertainment for the chat as well.
Yeah.
So I take advantage of the trolls, absolutely. But, you know, there's some comments which are a bit too far and you just be like, all right, get out of here.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Nah, 100%. There are some times where, I mean, especially if you're taking, I know it's hard to try and not do this, but not taking IRL problems. You know, you might have had a bad day, jump on stream, and then someone says the wrong thing to you at the wrong time. It just hits different.
So the classic scenario of you work your 9 to 5 job and you've had a bad day, like breakup or whatever it is. Hypothetical. You go to your job, your boss is going to tell you, don't bring your personal life into your job. Exact same thing with streaming.
Yep.
You come here to entertain, you come here to be a character or whatever it is that you are as a streamer, you come here to do that. If you're going to be bringing your personal life, like you've had a bad day or, you know, break up, again, hypothetical, it's not going to be good for your streaming career and it's not going to work out long term for you. Just based on the fact that if you're constantly bringing in your personal stuff into your stream, I don't want to go into your stream and you tell me about all your problems, you know? Yep. I come to someone's stream to forget about the outside world and just chill, about reality, kick back, you know, talk some shit, you know? If I'm coming into your stream and you're bringing me your problems from your personal life, I'm not going to watch this streamer. To your loyal viewership, of course, you tell them about your day, tell them what happened, tell them about a scenario, a story. That's different. Telling stories and stuff like that is completely different. But in regards to being like, oh man, got these bills, I couldn't pay this bill and I'm behind on this and my rent, and then you start talking negative like that, like I'm not hanging around you, man. I want positive, like-minded people. I want to be in a positive community. I want to get escape from my issues in your stream. Like, well, why am I coming to you? Exactly. So that's the way I view it. Like, I've had so many scenarios where it's literally I could have had an argument 5 minutes before. Not that I argue very often with my missus, but we could have had an argument 5 minutes before stream. Switch on stream, positive attitude. How's everyone's day going? Blah blah blah. Continue on with what you do, your character, and who you are.
Yep. It's also a regain for you too. To it's your time to escape as well. It shouldn't be you drag something that has nothing to do with the stream onto the stream because, like I just said, it's your time to get away from that. Same time as when people come to view you, it's their time to get away from whatever they've got going on in their life. They want their 5-10 minutes of you to make them forget or distract them or do whatever. So yeah, I would say if you're in a bad mood, maybe not even to jump on stream till if you're a casual streamer, I mean, obviously you're doing this as a job, you almost need to get on. But yeah, the casual guys, I would say regain first, then jump on, because people can feel when you're in a bad mood.
Yeah. If you haven't mastered the art of being able to turn off your personal life and your personal issues and turn on your streaming personality, if you haven't mastered that yet, then yeah, definitely regain before you get on stream.
Yep.
Of course, I've lost full on stream multiple times from the game. The game frustrates the hell out of me. Call of Duty it makes me rage all the time. So I even noticed that. Like, I start raging in game and my chat dies. Like, I'm like in my own head, I'm thinking, I need to change this.
Yes,
like,
yes.
As soon as you keep raging, nobody wants to watch you. Like, nobody wants to talk in chat because they know they might trigger you. They might say the wrong thing or whatever.
Yep.
So they end up, it just dies. Like, people laugh at it sometimes when you rage every now and then. Of course, there's funny parts to it as well. But yeah, like, as much as you can avoid getting into that mind state, you definitely want to.
I think one thing that's definitely helped me is because, the game does make you rage, Warzone in particular. There's just some things you just cannot control. And it can get frustrating. And if you've ever watched yourself back, you know how ugly it looks like when you're raging. And I think it's best to laugh off the rage. Like, if you can find something funny to come out of being angry about it, something stupid happened, just laugh it off and like make fun of yourself in a way. I think that can really diffuse it. And you can almost turn that into content.
Absolutely. I've done it before.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a good way to view it, being like, that would be funny on a TikTok or something like that. Like, if you can view it from that perspective, then you're a lot better off.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, this has been a lot of fun. I know you've got some other stuff you have to do, but it's been really fun having you on here and picking your brain about a few things and getting to hear that, this other side of you. It was a really nice chat, man.
Nah, awesome. This was a lot of, I'd love to do more podcasts. This is actually, I think I'm in my element. I enjoy talking, so this is awesome. This is great. Thank you for bringing me on board, and I hope this is, what you're doing here with the podcasting goes well and potentially blows up, man. That would be awesome. So
hey, I'd love that. I'd love that, and I'll get you back on here when you're a true partner.
Yeah, we'll see. Exactly. We'll hopefully this year. That's the goal. So hopefully this year.
Let's go, man. All right, appreciate you.